Rain forecast. News 18. Weather from where you live.
Well, tonight we go back 13 years to 2001 on the 18th of August when we had catastrophic hail damage and a band from north of Oxford to north of Otterburn with hail up to grapefruit size. And there were a lot of large hail reports in the viewing area, including golf ball sized hail at Buffalo, driven by intense wind gusts that enhanced the damage. But also we had a lot of trees down too. Trees down near Delphi, also near Logansport, Thorntown, just all across the viewing area. And I tell you, the damage was in the tens of millions of dollars because the wind drove some of that very large hail and knocked out windows, knocked out not only windows on homes, but also cars, and also caused damage to farm buildings and roofs and whatnot. Now, these are the supercells that were lined up near a cold front on this day that happened during the evening hours. And notice, well, there's a little line here coming out of that cell, and there's a little bit of a line right here coming out of that storm. That's called a three-body scatter spike. The radar puts out its beam. It hits that large hail in the storm. The hail's so large, it reflects the beam down to the ground. And then the beam is reflected from the wet ground back to the hail and then back to the radar side. And when there's that lag in that radar data, you produce this very odd little line that you see on radar. And when you see that, it's almost always very large hail. Patchy dense fog late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Already some fog forming out there. And then tomorrow it's going to be hot, juicy, and stable. And even though the winds up in the atmosphere aren't strong, the environment with that kind of instability does produce pulse storms. They pulse up, they grow, and they can spit out a brief, isolated, severe wind gust and a little bit of hail. That threat would be isolated, but I can't rule it out with that hot environment. And then the hottest weather of 2014 over the next couple of weeks. There's the fog and 66 in the morning and the scattered storms afternoon and evening with a high of 87 back down to 74 tomorrow night. And everybody's going to be 86 to about 89 tomorrow with very humid conditions and still hot on Wednesday, about 85 to 90. There's some of the fog that forms on our high-res futurecast tonight and early tomorrow morning. And the cumulus bubble up by 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then by about 3, a few storms start to form in northern Illinois, and by 5, they're in our northern counties. And right along that front, they kind of follow it. Scattered storms around at 7 o'clock, isolated severe storm or 2 possible. Then they fade away by 10. Some fog tomorrow night, and then perhaps a few more storms as we get into Wednesday. And notice early Thursday morning, some fog too. A few more scattered storms Thursday, Friday, but hot. Highs pushing 90. Will be at or above 90 Friday through Monday with lows in the 70s. It's kind of the first time in a long time that's